Hello and welcome to NYSS West Haven. I'm your host, Dominic Konoweski. We have the Thanksgiving Bowl as it's Wednesday night football. Wednesday night, under the lights at Ken Strong Stadium. With a 7 o'clock kickoff, we're going to see the West Haven Blue Devils take on the Fairfield Prep Jesuits. Both of these teams come in with an 8-1 win-loss record. And you know what? This is going to be an absolutely huge game for the Blue Devils. 8-1 in the win-loss column, 5-0, undefeated at home. But the fact is, right now with the provisional playoff clinch, if they lose tonight and depending on how other teams play, they could be totally knocked out of the playoffs. Let's go send it over to Dominic Konoweski, who is in our other studio, about to make his way down to the game. Dominic, thank you for joining us here on NYSS West Haven. Thank you for having me on, Dominic. Always a big game for the Thanksgiving Bowl, no doubt about that. You usually have West Haven versus Hill House, but over the past decade plus, it's been West Haven against the Fairfield Prep Jesuits. And overall, this is going to be a huge game. West Haven 8-1, Fairfield Prep 8-1. West Haven coming in as .2 underdogs. That is huge right there. Both of these teams so close. This is going to be such a close-neck game. Fairfield Prep averages 32.3 a game. West Haven 32.1 points in a game. Now, going back to 2004, West Haven has destroyed Fairfield Prep 11-5. But you know what? That 2010 era, it's been almost the other way around. Well, first of all, West Haven has not beat Fairfield Prep since 2016. In the 2010s, Prep went 6-4 against West Haven. And that's huge right there. 2018, 63-12 win, and that was at home. And you know what? Those players were talking a lot of garbage about West Haven. The whole West Haven crowd is going to be buzzing tonight in the stands. Speaking of stands, over 1,000 people expected to show up tonight. That right there is going to be a packed house, a packed home house for West Haven. Now, overall, with how good both defenses are, both teams with some of the best defensive players and award-winning players in the state, this has reminded me exactly of that 2005 affair away at Fairfield. West Haven won that game by just 1 point, 7-6 against the Fairfield Prep Jesuits. This is going to be a huge game. It's supposed to be very windy out tonight, but this is going to be a great game, and I cannot stress that enough. And how much, quite frankly, do you think that the weather is going to play into effect tonight? Of course, it is near the end of November. It's very cold out for us of all. Do you think it's going to be a really a mental game? Oh, yeah, Dominic, come on. It's New England. If you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes and it's going to change up on you. Of course, Mother Nature is going to play into effect in this game. The West Haven Blue Devils Stadium is within a mile from the beach. It's always naturally colder the closer you are to the beach, and with kickoff going on, it's already going to be below 35 degrees outside, plus winds above 10 miles an hour. It's going to be absolutely frigid outside. But you know what? The West Haven may have an advantage going into this game. They're used to playing at Ken Strong Stadium in this kind of weather, in these kind of conditions. Fairfield Prep, not so much. I think that's going to be huge right there. And you know what? Both teams are great on the one game. Of course, West Haven really living or dying by that, averaging well over 200 rushing yards per game compared to Fairfield Prep's about 125 per game. I don't think we're going to see the ball in the air a lot because the heavier the winds are, it can move the ball side to side or have it go farther or shorter. We may see some interceptions on the opposition or for West Haven. It's going to really depend on what the conditions are at that exact moment. But 100% weather's going to affect this game, and I cannot stress this enough. How big do you think really the defense needs to be for the West Haven Blue Devils coming in? Well, folks, it's football. We all know how big defense plays. And with West Haven's defense, let me remind you, just announced all SEC. You got Joe Hawkins, who averages about 5 tackles a game, and then Keyshawn Togba, who entered the season as a top 25 player in Connecticut high school football. West Haven's defense is frankly goated, and I cannot stress that enough. Now, West Haven's D allows about 12 points on average per game, but you also got to look at Fairfield Prep's defense. They allow 9 points on average per game. Folks, that is a field goal separating it. This is going to be a close-neck game. This is going to be a kicker's paradise game. I do not think we're going to see a lot of touchdowns whatsoever. Depending on how you are offensively, in your mind, it may be a boring game to you, but this is going to be such an important game that could come down to literally the final few seconds. undoubtedly gonna be a huge game. And you know what? Put the underdog to just .2. You know it's gonna be a close game. Dominic, thank you for joining us here on NYSS West Haven. We'll see you down at the field later on tonight.